meeting, Wednesday, August 21st, 2019, Port of Sioux Law. All the commissioners are here and present. Have you signed up to speak, ma'am? Would like to hear you now.
Okay, this is gonna be short and sweet, huh?
You got your 5 minutes.
Okay, 5 minutes, okay. I've been coming to the port now for,
Could you tell us who you are and a little bit about
my name is Dorothy Gregg. I've been coming up here to Siuslaw for probably 17 years. And I always make my reservations ahead of time. And I get sent back a slip saying, you know, what they're all about. And this year, I made my last year, I made my reservations for 2020, which I always do. And Kelly sent me an email saying that you're no longer going to stand by the contract I signed or I made with you when I made my reservations. And that my rental will go from $703, I believe it is, to $798. And I have it here where I've given you a deposit on this, and I mean, to me, that was a contract between me and the port. And I don't understand how you're raising I can see when I come in next time, and if that's at $798, that's what I've paid. Anytime you've done a raise, I've never argued about it or anything else, but not changing what I have already made. So now what is your principle?
I can explain it to you.
Okay.
What it is, when we had a rate increase, she happens to be a December member.
The notorious.
We stood by 2019, the price that we had set before the increase. Now, as of 2020, which December members are allowed to basically book 2 years in advance,
No.
we're not giving them the same rate. They're going to pay our increased rate, the notices that we've sent out for 2020.
But it's never happened before, and there's been increases made. And we've always gone along
Dot,
with,
your complaint, and your complaint is that for 2020, you have a rate increase.
We stood by our rate
19.
for this year, even though
So we honored
increased our
that.
rate.
well, I mean, but here's my contract with you people that I will be here for 3 months in 2020, and you took my deposit of $500 and whatever, $68. And, excuse me, just let me turn it off.
And it's a $500 fine.
That's a $500 fine. That's more than my rent increase, sucker. Anyway, yeah.
Doesn't pay, it comes to the meeting, does it?
That was my son. I called him and he called me back. Anyway, but it just didn't seem that it was being worked the way it's always been worked. And that's whatever you and I go and make a reservation for. That's what I came up with as being right up front. Okay, here's what your price is, and I pay whatever it is.
I have a question, David.
Sure, go ahead.
David, typically, just a citizen coming in off the street, how long do we allow them to book in advance and pay deposit?
9 months.
9 months.
9 months to the date they want to come in.
Okay. All right. So, okay.
When was this?
This is the first that I heard about it was today.
Heard about what?
You were going to be here about.
Well, I
The
did. I
complaint
came up
about
and
the
I talked.
rate increase.
I told Amy that I was coming up and I was going
Yeah,
to,
and I wasn't here today, so this is the first
you know,
I've heard about it.
and so to
That's
me,
irrelevant. We're here just to look at
what our policy. Okay, what is your written policy on this?
9 months.
No.
For December members, it's 3 years?
No.
2 years.
2 years.
Well, it's December 1st. We can make a reservation
For the following.
for
year.
no, not for the following year, for the year after.
Yeah.
But you could make that reservation in anywhere from then till, well, May, you know, and it'd still be a December member. It doesn't matter as long as you make it prior to the 9 months when you were coming into that space.
I thought we were getting rid of the December member, contract type thing,
Uh,
going to the
they're-
9 months.
They're phasing, the December membership is slowly phasing itself out. Nobody
It
can be
is.
added to it.
How many
By
are
the
left?
same- But so she's talking about she got an increase for a reservation. When are you coming in on that reservation?
2020.
So, like in
I'm coming in, roughly speaking, July 1st
of 20?
of 20.
So basically, we've given you an increase and we're giving you 11 months notice, basically, right? Where are we at now? Yeah, there's 4 months left and you're in June. So
We've
the question is, what does our policy say? But I mean, I understand what you're saying, but on the other side of the coin is if we make, I'm not sure what the policy says, but we are giving those folks plenty of notice of an increase, right? I mean,
Well, that's why I asked about the citizen walking
Right.
in off the
Yeah.
street. They
I
only
mean,
get 9 months.
it's not like you're showing up and then we're saying, oh, by the way, it went up. I mean, at the end of the day, if that's what our policy allows us to do, I'm sure it also would allow for you to say, hey, I'm not gonna pay that and cancel the reservation.
We've stood by our previous year's rate this
So they
year.
already
For the
gave
la-
us a
yeah.
break on
For
that.
them,
For 19,
yeah.
that they made in 18, or
But
17.
they made it for 2 years, right?
Yeah,
I
we
just
made
don't
it
know
back
what our
in
policy
17,
says.
and, you know,
I don't
but,
think we have a policy.
what?
I don't think we have a policy concerning the December members
Well, okay. I
and rate
just-
increases. There's
okay.
nothing that we can point to that says,
Oh,
in
yeah.
a line item I, if they make a reservation and a rate increase, there's nothing in there that says that.
That,
We can make it retroactive or not
Yeah,
make it
yeah.
retroactive. But on the other hand, you're getting a lot of notification of it.
well, I mean, that isn't a reason, a notification.
Well, I'm just saying
Because-
it's not.
because
it's not-
I say-
It won't be a surprise when you come here. in
Okay, but what I'm
2020.
saying is that I made a contract with you people saying that's what I would pay for that space in that length of time at that rate. Now, you're changing,
Do you have a contract, or do you have a copy of what we have?
I do.
It's not a contract.
Well, it's a written verification of what was agreed upon by two members, one being the port and the other being me.
That's just a reservation receipt.
Confirmation of a reservation.
That's it.
Yeah, well, you can get that, I mean, you can get that any place in the world. I mean, if I go up here to the 9 months, the booking agent and whatever, they send me the same thing on the internet. Yeah,
And if they come back,
Pass that around, I'd like to see.
yeah, it's
it.
just a receipt.
But I'd like to see the specific language.
it doesn't say anything about one way or the other about an increase, but
No, it doesn't, it says what it.
Does it guarantee a rate?
it doesn't not, no, it doesn't.
Well, then, it's done. If the contract doesn't guarantee a rate, then when you book, unfortunately, you're gonna pay whatever the current rate is, and you always have the opportunity to not.
Oh, I understand that, but I'm just saying, it seems to me that when the port as an entity takes my deposit for a term to come in and stay, they should stand behind it.
At the rate that the port sets for your term, and.
Well, the rate is set right there.
Well, that's what I was asking about. Does the rate, does it specify in that language?
I think the
Terry?
key word is you put a deposit on a 2-year rental. That's what he did. That's what it sounds like to me. I mean,
Well-
by your own words, you call it a deposit.
Well, I don't know what word I would use other than a deposit.
What did it go up?
And about $80.
It's really not even the amount as much as it is the principle of having, I don't know,
I don't think the intent is to mislead anyone, I just think that.
well,
You know, it seems like that to you, but some of the expenses that we incur for the spaces increase as well. And so some of that has to get passed on to the user. This is the first I've heard about
There's
it,
two
so.
copies of the same thing.
Okay.
oh, I'm sorry, I didn't. One might be for the boat slip.
Yeah, one 500, yeah, the other one.
Yeah, one's for the boat slip and one's for the reservation. And I,
Yeah, I see your point, because this specifies a date and it specifies a price. And,
well, that one does too,
no, I'm agreeing with you.
yeah.
And it doesn't stipulate that if there's a price increase, she would be subject to it, so I think that's a valid agreement.
Oh, the only thing it does say is,
How many more?
I agree to read and comply with all rules and regulations given to me.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we'll take it under consideration, Dot.
Okay.
I don't think we're prepared right now to give you an
No,
answer.
that's fine, but I just think it should have come to your attention that, you know, when I make a deal with you, you make it back with me.
Well, yeah, I understand your point.
How many more of these December
I'm
number
sorry.
contracts are out there?
I didn't mean to take it away from you.
Probably over 20.
I would like to postpone this right now, this conversation. We need to think about this and have a conversation prior to executive session.
Here's some advice, yes.
Is that agreeable to everybody?
Yeah.
And Dot,
Yeah, I'm certainly not
if
ready.
we say anything right now, we're speaking off the cuff, and I don't want to do that.
That sounds fair.
So in fairness to you, we will reply to you.
Okay, Terry. Okay, thank you, Terry, I appreciate that.
And thank you for being a loyal customer. We
Yeah,
appreciate it.
well, I mean, I thoroughly enjoy the port and I use it all the time and all the facilities, and I think it's a great place to come. My whole family is coming now, and, you know, that's what you want. You know, the continuation of, so, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Good night.
Okay, moving on. Approval of agenda by consent. Is there any questions? Not much of an agenda.
Looks good to me.
Nothing heard, everything's approved. Approval of the minutes by consent. Has everybody had a chance to read the
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't have any changes or corrections.
No corrections, no amendments on my part.
no corrections noted. The minutes will be approved by consent. Kelly, would you like to give us a brief history on the financials for the month?
So checks printed in July were $173,451.81. I've always put down bills paid for July, which is not correct, it's just checks printed. Some of those checks are for June. Some of them are for August when we pay forward, I just wanted to correct the wording. The occupancy for the campground is down for July 8%, and mortgage was up 7%. You'll see behind your financials, there was a letter from Umpqua that the MMA interest on our account is dropping from 2.35 to 2.15. And then I just also wanted to remind everybody that our next board meeting in September,
I saw that.
we have that board assessment from SDAO where we get our extra % off our insurance for doing that assessment. And it starts at 5, and then the commission meeting will be at 7. And that's next board meeting, so it'll
What day
actually be
is that?
5.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm gone that day.
18th?
Yes, the same day, same night as the board meeting.
I think the reason for occupancy rate being down is for us being closed down with that CRO project about 12 days longer than we had planned on. So that's the only reason I can see that our occupancy would be down.
Well, doing the math, now we have to, when we figure occupancy, we have to add in the new units, the new spaces we added, but but we had to
We had,
not allow people, so
they were completely shut down.
so were those counted in your occupancy calculation?
Yes, they
Yeah,
are.
they are.
Okay, so that could account for a good portion,
Oh, I'm-
since they weren't,
I'm sure that's what it is.
okay. All right.
That's all I have. Any questions?
I'm interested in the contract we had with the bank. Next time, would you, I'd like to, I wanna know why it's going down. I understand what the rate is. I mean, I fully understand all that. But that was a question we had that I don't think we ever got answered when they wooed us away from Banner and promised us this earnings. Not to say that we haven't made good money, but this, I'm wondering if this is the beginning of the decline.
I was,
That's what I'm
I was
wondering.
wondering that too, and I know they're basing it on federal, but I'll need to talk with Jim.
Yeah, I think that you need to pull him on the carpet because we went with that because of that, went with him because of that rate.
Mhm.
Or for the most part, because of that rate. I just wanna know, what is their expectation? Are we gonna end up back at below 1%?
Yeah, cause we started at 2.25,
Mhm.
then it went up and now it went down, and
Yeah.
so. And I remember we asked them.
And I don't remember seeing anything that
We
was
expect-
concrete, because we all kind of asked each other, is this gonna be until the next, for the next 2 years, until we have to appoint another, or, choose another bank?
Right, and it did say in the RFP too
It
that,
looks like it's indexed, right, Mike? It
That's
looks
what it
like
looks like, it is
Yeah.
indexed. It said in the RFP what?
in the RFP, it said that we assume that these, like, our fees and rates and things like that, will remain the same for 3 years. I know it says that we assume that,
Mhm.
and you guys had asked him that, but I don't think you got the concrete answer.
Okay, well, maybe you could bring something to us, or just let us know next month what their
Shouldn't it
response to
be
that.
stated in there that it's tied to the index if it is? Right?
I just don't remember.
Any
I don't
loan I
remember.
ever had.
I don't remember, that's why we all kinda asked, like,
Yeah.
oh, this is good, is this gonna be for the next 2
Where
years?
is,
Where's what?
That's
we've been making
something
off of
she
that.
was talking
That
about.
letter is behind your
I
finance.
read that
What she
on
was
my
talking
phone,
about.
but I wanted to.
What is? It's the
How much
same
have we made off of
principle.
that?
Yeah.
Right.
We can fix that really
That's
easy, just put a
MMA
clause in there,
account.
race can change at any time.
Yeah,
That's it, pure one
would
simple
look at-
sentence and we're done. From
Yeah.
my
They can
perspective.
do that,
but that
We
gives
can
us the
put
heads
that in
up.
our
So-
new contract.
yes.
Craig,
So
Next
what do
Got
we
it.
do about this situation?
You wanna look
We'll
at
talk
the-
later about it.
first page of your general fund.
I think
She's not
we're-
wrong.
Yeah, I think we're obligated.
She's not
So the
wrong.
first page of
The
your
part,
general
the
fund
part
says
that's
interest
rough is
income.
that
Right.
So this
she
is
just
how much
didn't give a
we made for
deposit
July.
on
Right.
And it's
the,
been about $2,000.
on the
since
reservation.
we let it
The
run.
deposit stated
Right.
what the gross
Right,
amount was
it
gonna
did
be.
go
Yeah.
down from 2.35
That's
to
where,
2.1.
that's where we're.
Well, and then what that's looking like to me is
It's
that
got a
the
balance
federal's
due.
moving their money.
Right.
It
But there
stated
was
the
kind of an
year,
assumption
stated what
that
she.
we
I remember that
stayed
when
What
we
the
were-
deposit was and what the
Assumption
total
that-
gross was gonna be, so.
But see, we went in at 2.25, it went up to
I don't know.
2.35, we didn't worry about it, now it's down to 2.15, you gotta figure out what it is.
I don't know if are we allowed to talk in open session about Dorothy's predicament?
I don't see why we couldn't, but we can discuss it, yes.
Okay. Well, I think in my sidebar conversations with the accountant and the businessman here, that I think we probably are wrong with her.
We have to honor it.
We
It's
need
pretty
to
much
honor that.
stated, it's pretty much stated there.
Well, I agree with that and everything, but what we need to do is start getting rid of these 2-year contracts. I thought it was just 1 year, I didn't realize it was 2 or it could be 3. I mean, and that's why I was asking David, if we have 20 left, I mean,
Well,
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, we could let them have notice that it's only gonna be for 9 months, just like the rest of the people.
Yeah. The upsetting part is that we're giving them such a good deal, to allow that 2 year, that's why I was asking, the normal citizen only gets 9 months to reserve in advance. But by the same token, a written document stating that, I have a reservation at this date, and this is the total amount, and I'm giving a deposit for that, I think we're bound.
Well, no, I agree with that, but we just need to maybe send out letters and saying that, hey, this is gonna have to cease at such and such a time.
And we also need to,
Because we've talked about that quite a while ago.
What we did, we sent out letters of the rate increase that we would honor this year, but next year it would go to
Did you send out that notice of rate increase before she paid?
No, cause she made her reservation clear back in
2 years.
18,
for
see.
2020.
See, that's,
See?
see, we're letting them go 2 years in advance. I thought it was just 1 year.
I thought you couldn't make it until 19 for 20.
Well, that,
No, they're making it to 18, that's what the problem is.
Well, to fix the thing, I'd change it immediately that says,
Yeah.
I mean, we'll come back to the December thing if we need to, but change the reservation to thing that say rates may change and can change without notice, period. I mean, think about that.
and we will refund the deposit if you find the rate increase unacceptable.
Yes, I think that's acceptable. We should have the right to do that. We're already hampered with that 2-year
Yeah.
contract. So we should at least have the flexibility to
Well, I
raise our
think-
rates and not let them lock it in for 2 years.
I think we probably need to look at the entire program and how
Well,
it's
we-
set up.
we
And I
should.
know you guys have done that, and I'm probably late to that party.
Well, it's just that,
No.
no, the thing is
We've
that
never come to a consensus.
we haven't, because we, the same board can't, we haven't, we haven't had the same board in place long enough to get through the process, to be
And I'm not
honest.
sure we want to
Well,
stand the pain.
And
That's-
I only mention it because
No,
I
I-
spoke a little bit to Kelly about it, and when she was telling me how it worked, it's unique in a
It's a
sense
good old
that.
boy club.
Yeah, it's what it is.
Well, and it's very user friendly to those folks that are reserving sites here. They can basically reserve a site and they don't pay for the whole site, and they make a deposit and they can tell us, oh, sorry, I'm not coming in, and we have to try to rent that again. And it just seems to me that we just need to review it.
That's not a bad idea.
We're not letting anybody else join that.
Oh,
are we?
no.
No.
Uh-oh.
We're down to 23, aren't we?
20.
20.
Slowly phasing itself out.
I mean, it's like a rewards or a loyalty program,
program.
which is great. But from what I understood today, it kind of makes me think that we should just kind of look at it again, maybe.
Good idea. I don't have a problem with that.
I think we.
And this reservation thing would be a part of that.
Well, aren't we going through Reservations of America or something? Aren't we online with them?
No,
Hercules.
it's,
Hercules.
yeah, it's Leisure Interactive and Hercules.
Yeah, see, they can only make it 9 months in advance.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, like I say, clearly we're giving them a sweetheart deal, just a sweetheart. And then to have it still great.
There's
I
still a
know.
lot of people out there, there's lots of people out there that use this campground that don't like that program.
Oh,
They don't get
absolutely.
the opportunity to get certain spaces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're not in the good old boy
Yeah,
club.
and they've been out here in front of us more than once.
Yeah, and there are people that have challenged the legality because, as the Oregon Constitution says, all people situated in a similar manner need to be treated in a similar manner, similar way. But, and we talked about that before, but I think, did we ever get a legal ruling that we can give preferential treatment to a certain class?
I'm pretty sure we did. At
I
that time,
remember it was part of our
Dean had checked
discussion
on it,
way
and
back.
It was,
And we can take those documents and give those things to SDAO's pre-loss, and their pre-loss attorneys will review those written documents and make recommendations for us. Especially if we tell them kind of what we're trying to do with changing those documents, they'll work with us. And it doesn't really cost us anything. That's a free service that we get through our insurer, our Bristol.
Personally, I just get a hold of our attorney and say, as of the 2020 is the last contract date on these.
I like that idea. I've been a proponent of,
I know, so,
So 2 year notice is what, well, yeah.
1 year notice.
Well, I think that's sufficient for everybody.
no, a 1 year notice to terminate the December members.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
think I don't have a problem with that.
And then
I haven't from the
it's gotta be
beginning.
on the internet
When I
at
listen-
9 months before and like
I
everybody
listen to
else.
these people say, we've wanted a place out there for years and we can't get it because we're not a member of the club. It's like, well, you're right.
I like that idea. If we need to take this to executive session next, we're gonna have an executive meeting next week, I
yeah, we'll figure out
understand.
a date.
This-
When would be good for you?
Next Wednesday won't work for me necessarily.
I'm leaving Thursday, so Thursday, Friday, I'm out.
Sometime before the 15th, I'd like to,
15th of September.
yeah.
Yeah, anytime after the 3rd of September is good for me.
anytime before, so I'm out from the 28th through like the 15th.
Okay.
So I could do next week early.
That works for me. I don't care.
Monday or Tuesday would work good for me.
Yeah, I could do Monday, yeah, I could do Monday or Tuesday as well.
Okay.
Monday's Labor Day.
Not,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
not this next one.
No, it's
Oh, no,
not.
following.
Following one, yeah.
Yeah.
More importantly, next Saturday will be Oregon's first football game.
That's right,
on.
well,
The 31st.
So Monday is when?
What day?
this
What
next
date?
Monday.
26th.
26th,
Oh, it's coming right up.
yeah.
What time, 10 in the morning?
What?
What time would we do it?
I guess I don't really care.
5,
I'll
6,
be here
it's up to you guys.
5 or 6 would be fine.
I don't wanna do it at 7, if we can do it
No.
before 7. I
5:30?
prefer. Well, Terry's gotta get
5.
wherever he's gotta get from.
5 good for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so 5 o'clock on the 26th. this
Next
coming
Monday.
That gives enough time to advertise, wait, no.
That works,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll put it up there.
Can we discuss any more items we'd like to have on the agenda? Now's a good time to discuss that. It's gotta
This
be
is for
listed.
executive, this is
Yeah,
for.
what do we have, I mean, what, is it for this?
No, we have some rent issues.
Oh, yeah.
December
okay.
member and
All right.
a lease discuss.
I
So-
don't know if December member qualifies for executive session.
Unless we're talking about the legal,
It is, cause I don't want the December members to know what I'm saying.
I could relate
Take
to
that out, Alan.
He didn't mean it.
I didn't really mean
but
that.
I think we have some serious legal questions
I
that,
agree.
that we need to address in executive session. And then,
Between now and Monday, do we have time for David to call SDAO and?
Oh, I can contact the attorney.
Well, that's what I'd do, and let's put that on the agenda for Monday. And
Okay.
if we have the information to discuss it, we will, if not, we'll postpone it to another date. That's easy.
It was noted to me by Kelly that some cancellations are coming in on the blue buildings. That's what we wanted.
Yeah, well,
So,
that was our intent, yeah.
well, I think that's part of the occupancy down. Could
Uh,
contribute to it.
No, that's just strictly the occupancy for the campground.
Okay. I
down.
don't know if you counted that.
Well, the occupancy, you know, the fishing is bad too, so a lot of people probably aren't showing up.
No, it's strictly that being closed. We're full as can be out here constantly.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's good.
Any other questions? Any other comments, commissioners?
Nope.
David?
Everybody recognize David?
yeah.
Yeah, took me for a minute, but I did.
You went in 1.5.
I like
Oh, I
it.
know, I don't know what's up with that.
We're still moving on with our dredging. We've done a eelgrass survey now. Well, we're in the process of doing an eelgrass survey to where the last time we dredged, it was mitigated. There was some mitigation done up the river, so we had to go find that site. And there's a lot of eelgrass there, so that we shouldn't run into a problem with our survey there. Trying to finalize a draft agreement with Coos Bay right now, and then we'll schedule a meeting with them to come up here and do a overall site visit. And as far as they're saying, they're continuing to prepare the dredge for this fall and getting everything ready.
So it's good word so far.
Yeah, you know, we've got our DSL permit, we're still kind of waiting on Corps, and this eelgrass survey's gotta get into the Corps, NOAA, and then ODF and W, so we have to finish that up.
We budgeted for the,
We budgeted for the dredging, yeah,
how much?
quite a bit more than,
Don't we
Yeah,
want to
what,
spend?
300 and some thousand? Can't remember, right up there though.
I don't want to lose steam on the blue buildings, so maybe
Yeah,
keep
no,
that. That's
we're
coming
not.
up quick.
you know, we're continuing with everything. Bill and I did go to the Coastal Caucus today, and the thing that interested me the most was listening to Peter DeFazio talk about the harbor maintenance fund, maybe opening
It's
up.
been impounded since 2006.
Yeah, where there might be some money becoming available out of that harbor maintenance fund, towards jetty repairs and stuff like that, so, we'll see.
They don't wanna pay to dredge our port.
We've got funding for dredging for this year and next year, right now, as far as that goes, but major infrastructural repairs like, rebuilding the jetties and stuff like that.
Which jetty did they talk about? It lost 500.
They talked about Coos Bay,
500 feet is what they were
Yeah.
saying off the
Yeah.
end of the jetty.
and I think we've lost,
We've lost about-
300 feet
Okay.
off each of ours.
I think we lost some this winter.
It wouldn't surprise me, it keeps
I mean-
sloughing off pretty good.
Yeah, I looked at it the other day, going, damn, it's short.
Well, I know, if you keep fishing that one area, you
Yeah.
see how you can tell.
You get some of the old GPSs, like my old Garmin and everything, it shows you right where it is, where compared to where it is, you can just about measure it right off of them.
Well,
You
now
get some of the older ones.
the hole next to the end of the jetty isn't 29 feet like it used to be.
Yeah.
It's only 24 feet,
Yeah.
which means the jetty's been backed up, so. That being said, any other questions, comments? Craig, you guys
No,
good?
Good.
And there's what we have for dredging, 325.
David, anything else?
Nope, I think we're good.
This meeting is adjourned.
See everybody Monday.
One day.
Thanks for a short job, Terry.
Good deal, good deal.
You're welcome.